Game number 76 as the Boston Celtics host the Orlando Magic. Welcome into the Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone on CLNS Radio. I'm alongside Philip Rossman-Reich of Fan-Sided Orlando Magic Daily to preview tonight's Celtics Magic matchup. Phil, I appreciate you checking in.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, Phil, clearly it's been a rough season for the Magic as they sit just above the Nets for second to last place in the Eastern Conference. How has head coach Frank Vogel been received in Orlando, and what do you think Magic fans have to look forward to next season?
I think Frank Vogel is still pretty well liked in Orlando, still someone who's well received. I think a lot of the frustration has been put on the front office for the season. Obviously, there was a lot of high expectations this year after they acquired Serge Ibaka, and then, frankly, and no pun intended there, which I apparently have to say, Frank Vogel went out, before the season and said, pretty much guaranteed they were going to make the playoffs. That's obviously not going to happen now, as he said, they're 14th in the Eastern Conference and were just eliminated from the playoffs officially earlier this week. But, I think there's still a little bit of optimism. They've gone away from playing big, which didn't work at the beginning of the year. They're playing small, and they found a little bit of success. They're 6-11, I think, since the All-Star break, essentially since they traded Serge Ibaka. And they seem to have hit on something that could work. There's, what's on the roster, there may not be a ton of optimism. They're still going to have to hit on a draft pick, make some shrewd choices in free agency and in the offseason to get where they want to go. But I think people generally think Frank Vogel is a coach that can lead them, that can teach defense and make the team more competitive next year.
I know it's early, but what are some of the free agents out there that you think Orlando may have their eyes on this upcoming summer?
I have not done a deep dive on the free agents yet. The Magic won't have max free agent space unless they make some moves, obviously, to clear some space. I think the major addition that they're going to make is through the draft. It wouldn't surprise me if they add in a couple of veterans. They probably need some more help with the four. Probably need some more athletes and shooters, especially. That's been a big need for the Magic throughout the year. But I think the Magic's free agency plans and the Magic summer plans will be kind of hashed out a little bit more once we see what they can get in the draft, and then also, honestly, see what they do with their front offices. I think a lot of us are anticipating some change after the season.
CLNS Radio Celtics pregame report is being powered by the SeatGeek Ticketing app. Is the smartest and easiest way to buy and sell sports and concert tickets. Get a $20 rebate on your first purchase by downloading the free SeatGeek app to your phone. Go to the settings tab and click add a promo code and enter the code CELTSNEWS. That's CELTSNEWS, all one word, for a $20 rebate. And so SeatGeek knows who sent you. What do you think the Magic need to do in order to shock everyone and beat the Celtics tonight?
Make shots would be nice. That would be a first step. Really, I think it's going to be about controlling the pace. When Orlando is able to get out in transition, get stops defensively, they look like a functioning basketball team. They don't look like a team that's at the bottom of the standings. The problem has been they haven't been able to do that consistently. I think Wednesday night's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder was a perfect example of that. They went up by 21 points in the middle of the third quarter against the Thunder because they were moving the ball, making shots, and getting a lot of deflections and steals and disrupting a lot of Oklahoma City's offense. Then Russell Westbrook happens, which does happen occasionally, and the Thunder slowly chipped away at that lead and then just overwhelmed the Magic from Westbrook's just sheer force of will. So the Magic are capable of playing with these teams. They got to do everything right. They've got to make shots. They got to be in the passing lanes. They got to make life hard for the Celtics to operate their offense. And if they do that, they'll find some opportunities to score and maybe a chance to win. It obviously hasn't been a good matchup for Orlando this year.
How's Terrence Ross been for the Magic?
He's been okay. I think the MO with Terrence Ross is he's very up and down. He goes through hot streaks and cold streaks. Right now, he's going through a hot streak. What's really been impressive to me with him is just the quickness in which he gets his shot up. He's able to come around screen and really just rise and fire before the defense can even recover around the screen. And I think that's something the Magic have desperately been missing. Right now, he's hitting his shots. I think he had 23 points in last night's game. He's going through a nice string where he scored more than 15 in the last 3 or 4 games of the season. If anything, the Magic need to go to him more right now because they need to feed that hot hand and keep his confidence going. They kind of go away from him because he's not someone who can create off the dribble. But for what the Magic needed, going small, getting some more shooting, Terrence Ross has been exactly what the doctor ordered.
Prediction time. Who do you think wins?
I think the Celtics win, and I think it's probably going to be relatively comfortable. I think that Boston probably wins by pulling away in the third or fourth quarter by 10 or 12 points. Orlando, I get the feeling they're a little shell-shocked from what happened last night still, and it's going to take some time to recover, and Boston's just not the right team to play after a performance like that.
All right, well, he is Philip Rossman-Reich. You can follow him on Twitter at PhilR2. That's on Twitter at PhilR2. Make sure you check him out. Phil, I appreciate you coming through.
No problem. Thanks for having me on as always.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Celtics pregame report. Make sure you check out the Garden Report after the game to get all the exclusive postgame interviews from coaches and players from the locker room. Tune into tonight's postgame show that will air immediately following tonight's game on clnsradio.com. You can call in toll-free at 347-215-7771 after the game to get on the airways, or just like this show, you can listen to it on demand anytime, any place, anywhere on the CLNS Radio mobile app. Be sure to tune into Celtics Beat with Larry H. Russell on Sunday to get yourself ready for Sunday's Celtics matchup against the Knicks. Weekday shows air on the Celtics Newsfeed channel on iTunes, Stitcher, and the CLNS Radio mobile app. For today's Boston Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone, this is Josue Pavone signing off.